Madden, an absolute classic video game series. It sells many copies every year, and it's been around since 1989, which is a pretty long time. It'll always be known as one of the most popular game series ever. However, over the past 10 years, it's declined in quality very significantly. Channels like Ryan, Moody, and SoftDrinkTV's are two channels that expose Madden and talk about how bad it's gotten. They've created channels just based off how bad Madden's gotten, so make sure to check them out, since they're great YouTubers. Anyways, with Madden 21 being very disastrous so far, I have a feeling the 2020s will be the downfall of this classic franchise, and here's why, and that's all what I'm going to explain in today's video. Why the 2020s will be the downfall of Madden. But before we do get started, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel, as I'm trying to reach 100 subscribers, and also share this channel with any NFL and NBA fans that you guys know. Plus, comment down below your video ideas. And with all of that being said, you guys, well, let's get started. To understand how Madden fell off, we gotta go back to the late 90s and the early 2000s. And Madden, it used to be a very deep game with many features. Not only that, but there were many NFL licensed games back then, like NFL 2K, NFL Street, NFL Head Coach, and more. And companies had to actually care about their game with all of that competition and make the best game possible. However, when NFL 2K made the price of their game $20 US, EA responded to this by making the price of their game $30 US. And the NFL didn't like this, so they made an exclusive deal with EA. The deal stated that EA would get the exclusive rights to make a simulation NFL game if they made their game the normal price $60 US. And it was signed in December of 2004, and just like that, the competition was gone. However, EA would release some pretty good products over the next few years, but eventually, Madden fell off. Here we are now. So what are the issues with Madden and what makes it so bad? Now, we're going to go by every issue one by one. Well, not every issue, because if I did that, then this video would be very long. But I'm going to focus on quite a bit of issues, like bad player motions, bad gameplay, lack of depth, only focusing on Ultimate Team and not listening to customers. So, let's get into it. Now let's talk about issue 1, Ultimate Team. Ultimate Team is probably the one game mode EA actually cares about. And even though it probably is the one game mode they actually care about, let me just tell you, even Ultimate Team sucks. The thing is a pay-to-win game mode filled with microtransactions. I mean, heck, you could buy a ton of microtransactions with real money and then spend it on the game and on a pack in the game, and then you could get something good, like, I don't know, a 98 overall card, but you can also get something trash. And when you get something trash, which most of the times it really is kind of trash, well, you just wasted all of that money just to get something bad. I mean, it really just sucks. And that's not the only issue with the Ultimate Team. There's bad matchmaking. You could be a 79 overall and get matched up against a 99 overall. That's just not acceptable at all. Like in any basic game like any company that would make something like Ultimate Team good would make the matchmaking at least equal. Like, maybe if it's like a 1 or 2 overall difference, then yeah, it's fine. But if it's a 79 against a 90, that's just not good at all. Now, there's nothing wrong with having any game mode like Ultimate Team in a sports game. I mean, there really isn't. However, it's a problem when you only focus on that game mode and don't give the other game modes the attention that they deserve. Plus, to have a solid team, which, believe it or not, you can actually have a solid team in Madden's Ultimate Team without spending money. However, you're going to have to grind a lot, and a lot of people don't have the time to grind all of that, grind a ton and all. Plus, when you do grind and finally get to play a game, chances are you're probably facing, well, a team that's way better than yours, given how bad the matchmaking is. But now, let's move on to the next issue. EA's franchise mode, or Madden's franchise mode as I should say, it is terrible. Man, where do I start with this one? Anyways, franchise mode is a staple of sports games. Any good sports game would have a good franchise mode. Getting to take over your favorite team or just any team and rebuild them into a championship contender or have a dynasty with an already contending team is something that I'm sure many of us would love to do when we play a sports game, especially someone like me. In franchise mode, it's just a bare bones game mode. How else do I put it? Let's go through it. It's essentially play now with the schedule. there's no trade finder, so you can't, that just makes trading things so much harder. Want to see what the value of a player could be? Well, there's no trade finder to test that out. There's also stupid CPU logic in the sim and the trade finder. Like, why are the Cleveland Browns going 12-4? No offense to Cleveland Browns, but I think you guys see what I mean. Like, there are some teams doing way too good in the sim, and when it comes to the trade center, oh man, there is some really stupid logic. Like, you guys are gonna see up here on the screen, and you can't even view what team a player played for when viewing their own player stats. Like, that is just stupid. Why wouldn't you be able to view what team a player played for when viewing their stats? And let's also talk about the award logic. You guys are also going to see a screenshot of just an example of the stupid award logic. A quarterback can lead their team to a 7-9 record and win MVP over a quarterback that got their team to a 13-3 record. Like, that should never be happening. How does that happen in your game mode? And there's no offensive coordinators or defensive coordinators. The coordinators are an important part when it comes to football. They help assist the coach when it comes to calling plays and a lot of things. Plus, you can't even create a team. Like, creating a team, that is something you should have in a good franchise mode. That is an essential. I'm sorry if I sound like I'm ranting, but that is an essential. And let's also talk about the relocation teams. Now, it's nice that you can relocate, and it's great that we at least have that, but it's been the same teams for the past 6 to 7 years. Can we get some new teams, EA? Please. Plus, you can't even rebrand a team. Want to rebrand a team so they have the same uniform/jerseys from 2001, or have the same arena and something like that, or download some brand, rebrand the team to like some concept jerseys or something? Well, you can't do that because EA's franchise mode, or Madden's franchise mode as I should say, and the contract structure, man, it sucks. This game mode sucks, at least. How else do I put it? Our next issue, my friends, is Play Now. Play Now, like this game mode, sucks. Well, like this game sucks, and a lot of other game modes. For one thing, there's no historic or all-time teams. Now, don't get me wrong, it's hard to get all the rights to all those players, but it's a basic part of having a good Play Now. Having historic and all-time teams. Want to play with some of the best, or want to play with a team like the 1985 Bears? You can't do that. There's no historic teams in Madden. Want to play with the all-time Dallas Cowboys or the Philadelphia Eagles? Well, you cannot do that in Madden because there are no all-time teams. And it just lacks depth overall. Let's also talk about the presentation and the reporters. The presentation, I don't like it, alright? The graphics, I feel like the score graphics, it would be much better if they were more similar to something like Monday Night Football, or Sunday Night Football, or Thursday Night Football, or just on any normal Sunday, like the score graphics from CBS, or Fox. Man, it just sucks. The presentation, I don't like the scoreboard in Madden 21. Like, what is this? Madden Mobile scoreboard? Not only that, let's also talk about the reporters. Now, I don't want to say the reporters are bad people in real life. They definitely could be, but anyways, I don't hate the reporters in real life, for now at least. But seriously, every time I hear them talk, I want to scream. And I just cringe to death every time I hear them talk. Madden always uses recycled gameplay, and it feels so electronic, and it feels like there's no emotion. In NBA 2K, well, at least it somewhat feels like you're in an NBA game. In Madden, it doesn't really feel like you're in an NFL game because of the reporters suck and the dialogue. Well, the dialogue just sucks. No, they don't always use the same lines. Like, they can obviously repeat some things, and they will use some phrases frequently, but they don't just say the exact same things all the time. It gets annoying, and it's just unrealistic. How else do I put it? Next up, the gameplay and the player motions. Gameplay is probably the most important part to have a good game in general, not just a good sports game, but gameplay affects all parts of the game. You can have a really deep game, but if you don't have a good gameplay in the game, well, if you don't have good gameplay, you're not gonna have, well, the customers, they won't like the game as much, because even though there's a lot of depth, the gameplay, if it's not good, it's not gonna be a great game. Anyways, the gameplay in Madden is really electronic, and because of that, the gameplay isn't fun, and it kind of just wastes your time, and you don't really have a good time playing Madden. And the player motions in this can be really unrealistic, like players just standing around or just doing stupid things. Plus, just a lot of stupid things, like the CPU being stupid. Every time you intercept the ball, you also run backward, which is just not realistic. Yeah, there's times when players do run backward when they intercept the ball, but at the same time, they don't do it all the time. Usually when they intercept the ball, it's straight forward. Anyways, let's also talk about X Factors. Now, while X Factors make the star players feel like star players, they're unrealistic. Look, Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers, they are very accurate quarterbacks. They're some of the most accurate in NFL history. However, at the same time, that doesn't mean for 1 minute they can't throw an interception. Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers throw interceptions, and it's just flat out unrealistic for a quarterback not being able to throw an interception. And it's also unrealistic to just not be able to throw 80 yards downfield after completing 5 passes. Like that, what? I mean, if anything, it shouldn't be like that, because after throwing those 5 passes, assuming some of those were kind of deep, well, your arm should be tired, and it shouldn't really be like that. Plus, the gameplay can feel really scripted, and that obviously just screws up the entire game and all the other features. And really, to put it simply, Madden's gameplay is bad, and it affects all features of the game. Next up, you guys, depth. Madden lacks depth in all parts of its game. And lacking depth in all parts of your game is just not good. For one thing, then the game modes become really boring, and it just lacks depth in general. How else do I put it? Without depth, your game mode is just going to become boring, and your game is just going to get boring overall. I mean, heck, Madden's more shallow than an inflatable pool you get at Walmart. That's how shallow Madden is. Madden just lacks depth. Like in franchise mode, as I mentioned before, in play now, in all parts of its game, it essentially lacks depth. And that's kind of all I have to say for depth. Now, why do I think the 2020s will be the downfall of this once beloved franchise? Well, let's start out with part A. The customers are starting to wake up. When Madden 21's trailer dropped, it did not go well. There were way more dislikes than likes. It showed no new features. People nitpicked the trailer and pointed out everything wrong with the player motions and stuff like that. Everyone in the comment section was clowning it, and it was just scrutinized overall. Eventually a hashtag was started, and that was #FixFranchiseMode. This hashtag got so big on Twitter that it was one of the top things trending on Twitter for a long time, and it got so big that EA eventually responded, in which they said that they would be focusing on franchise mode a lot and listening to the community moving forward. They definitely haven't proved that with Madden 21, but hey, Madden 22, they could possibly do it, but it doesn't look like they've been doing that. And now let's talk about part B, competition. Now, EA's competition, EA has had 0 competitions for the past few years. However, that could change. Earlier this year, the 2K and the NFL agreed that 2K would be able to make an NFL game. However, it had to be non-simulation, so an arcade-type game. However, that is something. And if 2K can capitalize on the limited opportunity or limited stuff they have, well, then they could really EA could be in real trouble. If they can already make a good arcade game, then with a simulation game, imagine what 2K can do, assuming they listen to the community and, make it a deep game with some solid gameplay and stuff like that, and do everything Madden hasn't been doing for the past 5 years or so. Anyways, now, if EA cannot keep up with the competition that 2K puts out, then they will be kind of screwed. Eventually, 2K could easily get the rights to make a simulation game, and if EA can't respond well, then that could mean bye-bye for Madden. So that's why I think the 2020s could be the downfall of this once beloved franchise. That's going to be the end of the video to you guys. Well, anyways, thank you guys for watching. It means a lot to me. I work hard on these videos. And also, like the video if you guys did enjoy. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as when I'm recording this, I'm trying to reach 100 subscribers and be very much appreciated. And comment down below your video ideas, as it's very much appreciated. And with all that being said, you guys, I'm out.